My second day in the Canadian wilderness saw me floating a new river with Mark Melnick and Ojibwe Joe.
Yeah, Ojibwe Joe, he's been guiding up here all his life. Actually, his mother was born on one of the tributaries of the Albany, literally on one of the tributaries of the Albany River in the middle of the bush.
Little did I know that my day with Ojibwe Joe was going to be special.
Joe was superb, actually. He was good company, and it's tough going down the river because the water level was low, wasn't it?
It is. As the summer moves on, the water levels tend to drop because of lack of rain. And this year is no different, but it's still very fishable, and the fish played along for us, definitely.
Yeah, I was particularly impressed by the fact that we caught a fish. We got a brook trout in the very first pool that we tried.
I think it was your second cast.
Yeah, and it was on a dry fly as well.
My first brook trout took a dry fly, a huge monster of a fly in a slack alongside a rock, a classic place. It wasn't a big one, but it fought really well, and because of the heat, we decided that the kindest thing to do was to unhook the fish in the water.
These brook trout, for whatever reason, I know brook trout are aggressive to begin with, but these things were off the charts. As you said, there were fish that were slashing at things 7-8 times in a row down this pool. So, you know what? Why not take advantage of it and see if you can do the ultimate in brook trout fishing, is not only take a brook trout with a surface fly, but let's use a big furry mouse.
The big furry mouse was a brook trout magnet, but not always the best hooker. Yet, it provoked some savage surface takes when skated across the current like a mouse or a vole swimming on the surface. I knew when I got my first glimpse as it turned in the pool that this was a better fish. Mark did the honours with some aplomb, and this fish too, a really nice 2-pounder, was unhooked and admired in the water. I was beginning to realise that this was a special day in a special place, but of course I had to catch the obligatory walleye.
You know, the freestone float is a 12-hour trip. You start at the headwaters, and you float down fishing pool by pool, run by run. And I think it was because the weather was so warm, the river was warm enough that in pool number 2, I think there's springs in there, and I think every fish in that region moved into that pool at that time because there was fish everywhere.
People often ask me why I'm so crazy about brook trout, but the real deal, the wild fish in its natural surroundings, is one of the most aggressive and hard-fighting sport fish that you'll find anywhere on the planet. Their colours are literally outrageous, and as far as I'm concerned, they punch well above their weight. There really isn't any other game fish quite like the brook trout. They're a riot of aggression and colour. I could see that Mark was relieved, and we were both in a celebratory mood as we slipped back an even bigger fish which had taken a fancy to the furry mouse.
We saw one fish that struck on the surface about 6 times. We couldn't work out what it was taking, but you said, well, let's just put a mouse fly on this great big dry fly.
Yeah, I've been fishing up here a long time, and I have yet to see, other than yesterday, fish that aggressive.
Mark was right. The pool was full of fish, aggressive fish, another crazy backed specimen, even bigger this time, and still they slashed at the fly. I can't think of a finer fish to pursue anywhere in the world, but to do so on such a wild, untamed river in the middle of nowhere was really exhilarating. Several more fish followed before another smash surface take and a big heavy fish led me and Mark a merry dance. What a fish it was, over 4 pounds of wild brook trout. What a way to cap an amazing session. We fished on, of course, but every other pool we came to was empty. Before I knew it, Joe was paddling us back to our rendezvous with the float plane. But as we headed home, I knew for sure that thanks to Mark and Ojibwe Joe, I'd just experienced a real red letter day.